Okay, folks, in this movie we're going to be adding secondary motions. First of all, we've made a mistake. As you can see here, our clones are sticking out of our floor, and this is definitely not what we want. Simply, I don't know what happened, but we have changed our cloner position X, Y, and Z. So just zero those values out, and you should be good to go. There we go. So this is the first problem, and it's time to adding more and more effectors. Let me just go to somewhere around here. I'm going to select my cloner, go to MoGraph, Effector, add a plane effector. Let's just move our plane effector down here and also make sure it's part of the effector null and effector layer. And let's name this guy plane 03. This plane, let's really small amount, let's go to something like 20 and see what it does basically for us. And if I just go and move around, just right now affecting all of our clones. So what I'm going to do is go to my fall off tab and change the shape to sphere, so it just affecting this part. And if it would be better if we just have a bit more fall off. Let's go to something like 50%. We don't need to be that gradual. Now let's, I think it's too much. Let's go to our plane parameter. Let's go to something like 10 centimeter and see what we are gonna get. Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to simply animate this plane from this side, from center in the negative X direction, so we get a bit of extra secondary motion in between these two wave here. So let's just go to frame 0, click on this circle, control click. So you set a keyframe. Let's go to, I don't know, let's go to something like frame 65 maybe. Okay, and move this plane effector to the left until it gets out of our cloner setup, and control click to have another sort of keyframe there. And we're gonna be, there is our plane effector. Let me actually turn off these two plane effector, their visibility, so we're just focusing on our third plane effector and see how it will actually affect our movement. I think we can, let me just go to a bit more tighter timeline so we can focus on our frame range right now. I think I'm going to select this keyframe here and move it forward a bit so it kind of gets between those two motion, something like this. And that will definitely, even though it's simple, but it adds a lot. I think I'm going to select this plane and go to your fall off in the Z direction. I'm going to make it a bit more bigger, so something like this. So okay, that's definitely not too bad. Let's just control drag this third plane, and this is going to be our number 4. Make sure it has been added to your effectors list. Okay, and now go to your planer, and I'm just going to my this is the keyframe, so select the second keyframe and change the value from negative to positive. This is negative. Let's see, how much is this? 702. Let's go to something like this time 700, and now we're going to be adding this motion to the other side, as you can see. Very nice. Now if you want to get a bit more variation, you can simply, for example, go to this plane effector and make sure it has a bit more effect, something like 15 for example, and there we go. Now you have this sort of motion. Okay, so very nice and very simple. Let's just stop this and hit play again, and this is our motion that we have. And let's add a bit more planers to these two other sides, basically, for here and here, even though I really don't think it's we're going to need them, and I think we have enough motions and enough secondary motions. And let's see what happened if we add a a little bit of delay effector to this whole setup and see the effect of it. So let's go to MoGraph. Make sure you have your cloner selected. MoGraph, Effector, and then delay effector. Put your delay effector down here. Generally speaking, this is not the only reason that I put my effectors down here in this list. In Cinema 4D, the order of execution is from up to down. So basically, this list gets executed from this audio to this delay effector, and because we need our effector to be executed after our cloner has been created, so generally speaking, it's a good idea to make sure your effectors always down your list. Not always, but in most cases. There are some cases that you need your effectors to be executed before something else, but generally speaking, a rule of thumb is that you have to put your effectors down in the list. So this is our two-planar. Let's just go to our delay effector. I'm going to the parameters effector here, and let's try the spring method and go to something like 71% and see what we have. And also I'm going to select my cloner user data and turn on this proxy so it gets rendered a bit more quicker. Hit play, and look at that effects that delay effector has on those. I think it's really nice. And we can definitely select our delay effector and make it a bit more powerful and see how it will be. And definitely look at these extra nice motions that delay effector adds, and I'm really digging it. I think it's really great, and even though I didn't use it in my project, but I think definitely it's a good idea to use it. So let's just go to a frame. When you are using delay effector, so you have to really, you can't go through your timeline, and you have to play all the time to see what's going on. Otherwise, delay effector gets confused, and you're going to get problems. So there we go. We have this nice complex motions, and it is definitely very nice. The only thing that remains, I think, we need, after this whole motion is done, so everything is kind of goes down here, we need sort of extra motion around our main logo. When our main logo appears, these main cloners shouldn't be this silent here, and we need some more extra motions here, and a bit more randomness, I think, will add sort of extra flavor to our whole setup, and that would what we're going to be doing definitely in our next lesson. So I think it's enough for this lesson, and I am just going to save this and see you in the next lesson.